Thank you so much. I'd like to reconvene into this open session meeting of November 6th at 6 p.m., calling the meeting to order. And at this point, I would like Nick Bellinazzo from...
You still have to make an announcement on the closed session.
Yes.
Go ahead. Thank you, Mr. City Attorney.
Thank you. Earlier this evening, the City Council went into closed session to discuss labor negotiations. There was no reportable action taken.
That was riveting. Thank you. So now we're reconvening into open session. And now, Nick Bellinazzo, if you would come down and lead us all in the Pledge of Allegiance. So let me get the microphone. Okay, let's make sure this is on. This is on. Okay. So you know what to do, right?
Yep.
All right. This guy.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Take out any headwear or hats. Put your right hand over your heart. Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Right on. Wow, stay up here. You don't get to... he knows. This guy is a pro. So you are in what grade?
Fifth grade.
Fifth grade, and the guy knows how to wear a tie. All right, we're going to call down your teacher and principal from Meadows Elementary. Your principal is Michelle Kazmarek, and your teacher is Michelle Legaspi, and you're two Michelles. That I could have just done that. And I'm going to hand the microphone over to you, and you're going to tell us why we were so lucky to have Nick here tonight.
You truly are really lucky to be in his presence. Today, I have the honor of speaking about someone truly special in my classroom, a young leader in the making, a role model for his peers, and a friend to all. I am talking about Nick Bellinazzo. Nick is one of those students who impresses you right away. He is incredibly smart with a natural curiosity that drives him to excel in everything that he does. Whether it is a tricky math problem or a challenging science project, Nick approaches it with focus and dedication. He doesn't just want to find the answer, he wants to understand why it works and why it works that way. This intellectual curiosity sets him apart. But it's not just Nick's intelligence that makes him a standout, it's his kindness. He is the first to help a friend in need and the first to offer encouragement when someone feels down. Nick has a way of making everyone feel included and appreciated. His friends know that they can count on him, and the younger students look up to him as a leader and a role model. Even his even temperament, coupled with his leadership, make him a student that can be counted on both inside and outside the classroom. Thank you, Nick, for being such an important part of our classroom.
Okay, before I ask my colleagues to come down, was this a little nerve-wracking to be here?
Yes.
I think you've really handled it really well, so I can't believe you're only in fifth grade. Tell me, is there anybody in the audience you'd like to point out?
Definitely my parents. They had to deal with me for my 10 years.
Well done, parents. But truly, well done. Okay, Nick, why don't you and your teachers, and I will come down here, and if I could get my colleagues to join us for photos. Oh, and I have a certificate for you, Nick Bellinazzo, and look at this, a city pin. That's going to go on your left side at some point, but there you go, all right? Very good. All right, everybody. We're going to look over there, and we'll get these pictures. Oh, wait, is the chair in the way?
Oh, yeah. You can move it.
It's such a great stage. I know.
What up here?
Put it on. Well done. That one's mine.
Is it worth putting the the chairs back?
No.
Yeah.
Let's not even do the chairs. Madam City Clerk, if you could do a roll call.
Thank you. Councilmember Napolitano.
Here.
Councilmember Montgomery.
Here.
Councilmember Franklin.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Lesser.
Here.
Mayor Howard.
Here. That's you. Okay. That's why my notes aren't there. All right, now it's going to be really fun to recognize the 2024 Fire Department Annual Home Escape Plan Contest winners. I think I see a few of you out there. So if we could have Susie Contreras and Kevin Shin from our fire department come down.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council members. Let us use, oh, over there?
That's perfect. You can do it. You can do it there.
Oh, gotcha.
No, you're coming up. All right.
Might have a fire hazard here.
Include the sheriffs, yeah.
Great. Here you go, Kevin.
So good evening, everybody. We're here to announce the second grade escape plan winners. And we're going to show you a quick video. If we could show the video, then we'll announce the winners. So it's worth mentioning that this year's the year 18 we've done this, and we had 409 children participate in it, so it's a great program that we do.
All second graders, right?
All second graders, yes.
Was it all women who won this year?
Yes, it was indeed. So at this time, Susie will call you up and come on up and receive your award.
If you want to use, you can call them this way. Yeah.
Okay, first up is Billy Jordan.
And stay up here, Billy, we're going to have everybody up here, but you're the first. Okay.
And next up, we have Ayla Missler. Next up, we have Penelope De Leon.
Penelope. They're both wearing.
And next up, we have Greta Weiss. And next up is Elle Locke.
Oh, good. Okay, Miss White. All right, Al. You got bling. Okay.
And our last winner is Mila Rand, who is not present today, so we will accept on her behalf.
Let's give these folks a and let's pull it in, guys, for a picture. Why don't you guys get in the front? Okay, I want you to really own it. You guys work to win this award. And if your family, a sister, I see a sister out there. All right, everyone look up here. Excellent. Wow, congratulations. Is that it? Okay, thank you. Okay. Wave at the TV. Wave at the TV. Wave at your families. You guys are the safest people in Manhattan Beach now. It's excellent. Good job. All right, thanks. Now you can go. Okay.
You have my seat if you want.
All right. And this is, we don't usually do this, but we have a lot of wonderful things to celebrate in our community. So thank you to those second grade people for participating. Now I would like to call down our executive director of the Downtown Business and Professional Association, Jill Lampkin. Is David Archer here from the Chamber of Commerce? Oh, I couldn't see you. Come on down. How about Mike Sims from the Sims Restaurant Group? Is he here?
Could be over on that one.
Yep. He would be representing the North End Business District. So I'm calling these folks down here in honor of small. Oh, we got props. Well, you get to talk then. No talking? All right. So, Jill, show us your props for Small Business Saturday. And what is the date of Small Business Saturday?
Saturday, November 20th.
November 20th. And this is a national. The Saturday, okay. Are we clear?
Yeah.
All right. We have an amazing.
That's not right. That's not right. The 20th is the open house. I have that one burned in my paper. It's the 28th.
Okay, folks. It's the Saturday after Thanksgiving.
Right? Yes. 30th. Okay, so thank you for someone being able to read. And they can only do one major event at a time. So holiday open house is the next.
Okay, all right. And you can come up and tell us about that. Deep breath. Saturday, November 30th. It's the Saturday after Thanksgiving. And every dollar, that you spend here, we will realize some local sales tax with that, a little more now. Thank you all very much. It's very crucial, not just for the city to fund programs like the fire department and the safe escape plan, but all those dollars fund people who live in our community, who work here. It is vitally important. So if you can shop downtown, if you can shop in the North End, if you can shop at the mall, what am I missing? Anywhere in between. You can buy a car. If you can buy a car, that's really good for all of us. But it's really helping our local economy. So I know that Amazon is convenient, but go buy some books at Pages. Go buy stuff at the mall. So is there anything you guys would like to add?
There is a statistic that says that if you spend $1 in your local community, over 60 cents of that stays in the community. So it's not only good one time around, but it's likely to be good several times around. So keep that in mind as you're making your holiday shopping decisions.
And there will be red bags over the meters, and so it's all good. So on behalf of all my colleagues, I'm going to present one of these to you. You guys have city pins, right? I'm saving my stock there. Okay. David, was there anything you'd like to say?
No, I'm good. You guys said it all.
All right, very good. Colleagues,
Sure.
let's do another picture because it really is important to support the local economy. Come on, smile, guys. All right. You got the props? Got the props. All right. Drop local.
Jump.
Excellent. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Okay. I said there's a lot. So we also want to really thank the board of the Hometown Fair for putting on the 52nd Hometown Fair. And just what an incredible event that is every year. And it takes so much work. So my colleagues are going to help me. I'm going to read these off. And Mayor Pro Tem, if you can help us with some city pins. People think that the city, puts on the hometown fair, and I'm here to disabuse everybody of that notion. These people do everything. And you start basically in December of the year before, and countless hours. And they're not high-paid professionals. They are all volunteers who have other jobs. And wow, we are all so very grateful. So it's really fun to honor you here. So if we could have the president, Dana Taylor Old. Is Wayne Bush here? Okay. Jenna Harkenrider. Here we go. Jenna's been volunteering since forever. Karen Tokashiki. Oh, save the pins. All right. Tamari Cuneo. All right. She has a pin. Because you know what, these people, this isn't their first rodeo. Everybody in this community, everybody on this committee volunteers over and over and gives so much to our community. Kim Edwards, I know you're here. Thank you. Bruce Greenspan. Thank you, Bruce. You know, I should have asked you all, what area were you responsible for, Bruce? Were you?
Traffic safety.
Traffic safety, the most thankless job I'm going to say. Okay, Jenna?
CFO.
Okay.
Secretary and City Services.
Okay.
Arts and crafts. Information booths, community place, and civic corner.
Too much? Okay. Robert Manriquez? And please tell us what you...
Environmental Services and Communications.
Oh, wow. Okay. Okay, we have more. Val Padgett?
Director of Games.
Oh, games. Awesome. Ryan Shaw?
Community Relations and Corporate Donors.
Okay. Pins. They're all staying over there. I don't know what's going on. Okay, Kimmy Thompson.
Thank you. I'm food.
Yes. Our favorite. And Joe Touch.
Community showcase.
Oh, in what happens in Jocelyn Center. Now, there are a few, come on this way, guys. This is awkward. Come on. And there are a few people missing, correct, Dana?
Yes.
So
20-person board.
It's a 20-person board because nobody mentioned Beer and Wine Garden. Nobody mentioned Battle of the Bands. Right, and so it takes a small army to make it happen, and it is really such a wonderful thing every year. So let's give these folks a big hand. Okay, Joe.
For many months.
For many months, as we said, they start in December. All right, colleagues, we're here. Let's get a picture. Excellent. Thank you all, truly, so much. Thanks, Kimmy. Thank you. Thank you. I will. Thank you. And I know you do it for the certificate. Okay. Is Bob here? Okay. Colleagues,
Are we halfway through the ceremony?
yeah, we are actually okay. People like it. Pull up. We can sit now.
What was that policy we were talking?
Yeah. Let's sit down. I'm going through it, man. Okay. So it's an abnormally long ceremonial, but there's a lot to celebrate. There is one more proclamation we had, and the person who was going to receive that isn't here. And what that is a proclamation declaring November 4th through 11th as Veterans Appreciation Week. So as my still colleague, former Mayor Franklin and former Mayor Montgomery, if you are a veteran of any branch of the services in any conflict, would you please stand up so we can acknowledge you? Russ and our chief Thank you. And our chief and Russ Lesser. And Bob Holmes was going to be the person receiving this. Bob is responsible for a lot of the appreciation and recognition that this community shows to veterans. He is responsible for the Prisoner of War Monument and so much of our veteran services. So Bob, thank you. Okay. See, that wasn't so bad. Okay, have we done it all? We have done it all. So now we move on to approval of agenda and waiver of full reading of ordinances. And let's see. Okay, so we're all just signing in. Okay, I see Joe Franklin, colleague, or Councilmember Franklin has it moved to accept, seconded by Richard Montgomery. Can we have a vote?
Motion passes 5-0.
Okay. Now we have the City Council and Community Organization announcements of upcoming events. This is limited to 1 minute per person. So come on down to the microphone.
Hello, City Council. My name is Scott Yanofsky, member of the Rotary Club of Manhattan Beach. On November 9th, between 12 and 5, we have Veteran Appreciation, First Responder Appreciation. We have 2 bands, lots of food. We should have about 50% more people than we had last year. It's a great event, lots of fun. Please, all council members join us, and all the people here in the audience, please join us. Please come. It's a very good function, and the money is donated to different veteran groups. Thank you very much. And hi, Tim.
Thank you so much, Scott. It was great last year. I'm sure it'll be even better.
Hi, good evening, members of the council and Mayor Howard. My name is Josh Murray. I'm here on behalf of Manhattan Beach Library. I'd like to remind the community that we will be closed on Monday, November 11th in honor of Veterans Day. We will reopen at 10 a.m. on Tuesday, November 12th. I would also like to encourage members of the community to join the City of Manhattan Beach Library Commission and the Manhattan Beach Library for the inaugural event of the Manhattan Beach Speaker Series on Saturday, November 16th at 2 p.m. We are welcoming renowned American alpinist, photographer, and author Corey Richards as he shares his insights from his latest book, Bipolar. And registration is available on our website, lacountylibrary.org, and I thank you for your time.
Thank you. Mr. Archer.
Honorable Mayor and City Council, good evening. David Archer, Manhattan Beach Chamber of Commerce. I'd like to invite you to 3 events. We have our South Bay Women's Summit coming up this Friday. That's November 8th at 9 o'clock a.m. at the Redondo Beach Shade Hotel. And that's for anyone, not just ladies. And then we also have our Holiday Mixer Extravaganza at Manhattan Village on December 2nd. It's our annual Christmas mixer. We support the South Bay charities for, what is that called, Richard?
Sandpiper?
Beach Cities Toy Drive?
Beach Cities Toy Drive. I missed the Beach City. Sorry about that. On December 2nd, it's from 5:30 to 7:30. And then we have the North End Holiday Stroll on December 5th up in North Manhattan Beach. I'd like to invite you and the community out for those things. Thank you very much.
Mixer's on a Monday?
Yes.
Okay.
We do it on the first Monday so it doesn't conflict with everybody's holiday parties.
And I just see Leadership Manhattan Beach Simulation at the same time.
Is
Yeah.
there?
Yeah.
Okay. Dang that Leadership Manhattan Beach.
Yeah. I'll let you
That was
guys.
a chamber.
I know. I'll let you
Wait a
guys
minute.
duke it out.
All right, we'll figure it out.
Thank you. Good call. Okay, Bobby.
New seats for everybody. Honorable Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, City Council members, city officials, Mr. Lee, my name is Bobby Bell. You guys all know me. I'm not going to let Richard yell at me.
No.
It feels like it's been a month since I've been here. Just wanted to give you an update. We served over 175 Manhattan Beach residents at the paper shred event. All their documents were safely and securely shredded on site and then recycled. Talking with the residents there, and then at the TEDx event this last Saturday, I come to realize that a lot of our residents and business owners don't know one of the services we offer, which is right sizing. When I can come to your business, look at what you're doing, 99% of the time, I can save you money just simply by diverting what needs to go into recycling, which is half the cost, and diverting what needs to go into organics, which is free in the city of Manhattan Beach. That's all I got. Wishing you guys all God's blessings.
Thank you. Go ahead. Oh, were you saying it? Sorry. Yeah, go ahead. Go. I thought you were asking to speak, Councilmember Franklin. I'm so sorry. Hello.
Hello, good evening, Mayor and members of the City Council. My name is Kelsey Ransom, Recreation Supervisor for the Parks and Recreation Department. I'm here to invite you and the Manhattan Beach community to our upcoming Veterans Day ceremony on Monday, November 11th. It'll start at 11 a.m. in front of the Veterans Monument, which is on the corner of Valley Drive and 15th Street. This year's event will commemorate the 50th anniversary of the end of the Vietnam War. It'll feature performances by the Manhattan Beach Middle School Choir, short speeches from local Boy Scouts, and a keynote address by former council member and retired Army Captain Bob Holmes, and also Mayor Holworth serving as MC. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor and Pro Tem and City Council members. Jill Lampkin from the Downtown Business and Professional Association.
Been a long couple of days.
I know, it's a mouthful. It's nice to see you in your new seat. Congratulations. I wanted to let the community know about our holiday open house and pier lighting that is coming up exactly 2 weeks from tonight and 10 days prior to Small Business Saturday.
November 30th?
It's November 20th. As usual, the downtown businesses are sponsoring all sorts of great entertainment, everything from ukuleles to the Dietz Brothers Band to live reindeer to Santa and his sleigh, photographers, you name it, bubble makers, kids dance club. We've got it all this year. So please come down. This is a great opportunity for everyone to support the local businesses and spend local, shop local, and keep that money in our community.
What time?
It starts at 5 o'clock for all of the entertainment, and the pier lighting, I believe, is at 7. City, who knows?
7.
Anyone?
7?
Anyone? Okay.
7.
And
Great.
Mayor Howarth will get to flip the switch.
Oh my gosh, I've never gotten to do that.
Oh, and I do want to mention one more thing. That this year we are going to be offering volunteer opportunities to help with putting the live Christmas trees on the pier and adding the light strings. So there'll be a press release that comes out tomorrow with volunteer opportunities to help us with all of those as well. So thank you so much. And thanks to Eric Lee for his help with that.
Your Honor,
Sir.
could I ask Jill to speak as a member of the Beach Cities Toy Drive, talk about the toy drive since you're here? And tell them what date it is and what city it's in.
I
was giving her a chance to knock it out.
I know. I'm like, oh gosh, you tell me what day it is, Richard. You can look at your calendar right now.
12/21.
12/21? Okay.
City, Hermosa Beach?
And it's going to take place in Hermosa Beach. We're already working on it. We are right before the holiday open house. We will have drop boxes in all of the, not all of them, but several of the businesses downtown and several of the businesses around the community, as well as City Hall and the fire department, lots of other civic centers as well. We accept toys for 8 different organizations.
And unwrapped toys.
Unwrapped toys, and it's really, and we do encourage volunteers to come and help wrap, and that's a super, super fun day on the 21st. Really fun to do, and it's really cool because they separate all the toys by different ages, and then the different organizations come in and select based on the ages that that agency supports, and it's really, really, it's absolutely overwhelming and great. So,
New board member hazing, that's what it was.
Just a minute, Jill.
Wait,
Jill,
Jill.
one more question, if I may.
okay, great.
Madam Mayor?
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So the Christmas trees that you put, that are put on the pier?
Yes.
Because people get surprised that they're there and then they're gone. Can you just sort of
Yes.
describe who does it and how long they stay there? So they can get their photo opportunities?
I certainly can. So we have a local resident and business owner, Brett Zabrowski, who personally funds the purchase of all of those Christmas trees. They're no longer rentable, so he actually has to purchase those trees now. And they are on the pier for This year, we're going to try 2 weeks. We'll see. But they take a beating with the salt air and the winds out there. So we're hoping to get 2 weeks worth out of them, and then you have the opportunity to this year also purchase them to go towards an organization that is close to Brett's heart. So and there'll be more about that in the press release.
Great.
I think we
And
should.
Madam Mayor, Jill, can you tell, well done. Well done with all the different.
I'm like, if anybody else puts me on the spot.
Great. I feel like we should honor Brett Zabrowski sometime soon. Are there any more community announcements in chamber? See none. How about on Zoom?
There's no request on Zoom.
Okay. My colleagues?
Do you want to make one announcement? No? About MPP and IRLS and all that stuff now? No?
Oh, golly. No, I wasn't going to. It's too soon. It's too soon. I think we need to.
Unofficially.
Unofficially. No, you can say it.
Okay. Unofficially, Measure MBB, the Hampton Sale Tax,
MMB.
appears headed for victory, as RLS for the schools, both appear headed victory. Council candidates obviously on the ballot so far, and holding Joe Franklin, Nina Tarn, A.C. Shirley, and we'll get confirmation from the county, hopefully before December 17th, which is Steve and I's last day on the council dais. But until then, congrats to all of you. I appreciate the fact that there was no mudslinging and gutter stuff that we see in D.C. and L.A. and in Sacramento, that we kept it clean here, and it takes a lot of you to do that. So we appreciate that. From the other side of the fence that has seen it a different way, we appreciate not seeing that this year in the election. It was about the issues and about you, not about anything else. So we'll see how it goes. We'll welcome every the winners on the 17th, and thank you all for your vote on Measure MBB. It makes a difference to the city. All of our projects going forward, that money stays here. It doesn't go to LA County, doesn't go to the state, it stays here where it belongs. So everybody that voted, thank you for doing that. I know we're not over yet, and we'll celebrate later. Thank you,
Thank you, Councilmember Montgomery. And I do want to say with Measure MMB and RLS, which was a school bond issue, it did show all of us coming together. Every elected official supported it. All the candidates supported both of those. And it wasn't the case in other communities. It really, we have worked really hard to work together here. So well done. Well done, everybody. Okay, any other colleagues? Okie dokie. How about public comments? You have 3 minutes per person. You may comment on any matter within the subject matter jurisdiction of the council, including items on the agenda. But if you speak on a particular agenda item during public comments, you don't get a second bite of the apple when it comes time to discuss that. So I'll open up public comments. 3 minutes. Jill, coming back.
I'm just going to do it here to get it out of the way. Jill Lampkin, Downtown Manhattan Beach Business and Professional Association. I just wanted to stand in front of the community. I know that I already emailed everyone at the dais to thank city staff for all of the hard work that they have done in selecting the excellent contractor who is working on Lot 3. That company has been absolutely amazing. The city has been incredible in terms of responding to business needs and helping us with what they can. It is going this morning when I talked to them, they're already 4 days at least ahead of schedule, which is amazing. The process has been cleaner, quieter, and faster than any of us ever anticipated, and I just can't thank everyone enough for all of their support.
Incredible.
So I wanted you to hear it, but I wanted everybody out here to hear it too, because it's been so much better than anyone anticipated, so thank you.
Jill, go. That really, we never hear that, so kudos to staff, and thank you for saying that. And then how's the farmer's market going, the temporary location at the Civic Center Plaza?
Thank you for asking.
You're so
It
welcome.
is fabulous. It's one of those things where it may be a silver lining. Everyone absolutely loves it. PD and traffic control love it because it's safer. There's no traffic moving in and out, which was something that I didn't even anticipate.
Right.
We have so many more members of the community that have seen it because they're driving up 15th or down Valley, and we're not like secluded in that little internal area. It's really activated the space, which as a civic center, it should be activated, and it's fantastic. And we have seen so many of our city employees out eating healthfully and shopping at the farmer's market. So don't be surprised if you hear that we might want to talk about continuing that. So thank you.
Another meeting. Thank you.
Another council.
Another meeting, another count. There you go. Other public comments here in chambers? Okay, Mr. Sherrillian.
You been here before?
Good evening, Madam Mayor and members of the City Council. My name is Steve Sherrillian. First, I want to compliment Council for choosing Talyn Mirzakhanian as the city's new city manager. I've had the pleasure of working with Talyn and witnessed firsthand her professionalism and collaborative approach to leadership. Our city has an outstanding workforce, which should be complimented often. We continue to recruit and attract some of the best talent in the region. Switching gears, I am honored to be a candidate for one of the 3 seats for City Council. Although we're still in the preliminary stages of votes being tabulated, I wanted to take a moment to publicly thank my small and dedicated team of volunteers who helped guide me every step of the way. It was truly a grassroots campaign in every sense of the word. I want to also thank all the residents who I met along the way that came out to vote. They had to make some tough decisions since there was so many quality choices. If elected, I look forward to continuing my public service by representing our community's best interests and working with my colleagues to make Manhattan Beach even better. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Other public comments in chambers? All right. Online, Madam City Clerk?
No request on Zoom.
Okay. Then I will close public comments. Okay, let me change my screen here. So we have the consent calendar. Do I have a motion to approve it as one? We have Councilmember Franklin has made a motion, which I assume is to approve it as one?
To approve the
Yes,
to approve the
okay.
event, yeah.
And it's been seconded by Councilmember Lesser. Any discussion? Okay, let's call for the question.
Motion passes 5-0.
Okay, thank you. Since there were no items removed and we have no public hearing, we're going to move on to general business, item number 13, which is consideration of a resolution appointing Talyn Mirzakhanian as our city manager and approving an employment agreement. So we do not have a staff report for this. I have some comments, but Mr. City Attorney, is there other items you need to say before I?
No, I think
Okay,
the public has seen the staff report, the council's read it, and I understand you have some comments.
I do, through my colleagues, if you allow. All right, so this is, I wish there were a little more people here, but hopefully everybody's watching, because we are so pleased to announce the appointment of Talyn Mirzakhanian as the new city manager for our city. After a comprehensive search, and I mean, we had a lot of resumes, and careful consideration, we are confident that Talyn is absolutely the right choice to lead our city forward during this pivotal time. With nearly 20 years of municipal experience, including 4 years in Manhattan Beach, she brings a wealth of expertise and deep understanding of our unique challenges and opportunity. She has successfully overseen complex development projects, spearheaded policy initiatives, and demonstrated an exceptional ability to balance growth with preserving the character of our city and responding to the needs of the community. And during the past months as acting city manager, she has proven herself to be effective in responding to council and community needs while leading all city departments. She's such a skilled leader, and her experience at many agencies will be invaluable in navigating the challenges facing the city with vision and expertise. I need to read something technical, so I'm going to do that before my own quick comments. But Ms. Mirzakhanian's comprehensive employment agreement, along with a link to our executive compensation plan, which together outline all details regarding her compensation benefits, are accessible via the staff report for this item. So additionally, per Government Code 54953, I'm including an oral report. This is that. Which includes her salary and compensation paid in the form of fringe benefits. Her starting salary will be $285,000. There will be a 6% city contribution to deferred compensation, and the city will provide other benefits that are provided to executive management employees, including CalPERS, retirement, and the same retiree medical benefits, a city contribution to medical insurance equivalent to 95% of the premium cost. Other insurance benefits include dental, vision, life and long-term disability insurance, and annual vacation accrual of 280 hours annually with an option for an annual leave cash out, a vehicle allowance of $400 a month, and participation in other benefits available to other employees. So before I ask for a motion, okay, but we can, okay, hold on. I'll get to public comment in a minute. I would just like to say that we have been so fortunate to have your interim leadership. You've really gotten us through some challenges and issues already. And I just look forward to working together with you over the next several months. And I know you're just a terrific asset, and I believe the first female city manager in our community. So those are my comments. We have other comments plus public comments. Councilmember Napolitano.
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. I would only add that this is the right choice. I have heard from, well,
yeah, how many?
I've heard from very few. I've heard from one or two people, oh, why is this council choosing the city manager for the next council? And I'll say because this process started months ago, if not really a year ago, in considering when Bruce Moe, our past city manager, let us know that when he was going to retire. And we got the ball rolling then. We had some internal discussions, and then we went out to a open call for applications, and we vetted many, many folks to get to this decision. And I'll point out that though we didn't know it then, I think that some of us guessed it and have been proven right, that a majority of this council is going to remain here, currently sitting. The three folks to my right are still going to be on this council, and they form a majority. And you'll find as the two new council members in waiting, whether it be the folks here or elsewhere, that they're going to be well served by Talyn's appointment. And I would defy anyone to have found a better choice for this position. So I support it wholeheartedly. It's the right choice, and this is the right council to make that choice.
Thank you for those comments. I'll go to public comments, and then if my other colleagues would like to make comments. So let me open this up to public comments at this time. Is there anybody in chambers who would like to make a comment? Seeing none on Zoom.
Nothing from staff?
No
He's a
request on
jokester.
Zoom.
Relatives?
Friends and relatives. Okay, Councilmember Lesser, Mayor Pro Tem Lesser.
I will simply add to the remarks already made that we are thrilled to welcome
Got it.
Talyn Mirzakhanian as our permanent city manager. This search follows the engagement of a national search firm. This was not just a quick, hasty decision, but as was indicated by Councilmember Napolitano, we spent many months on this process, and we feel very fortunate that we had the ideal candidate who already worked for the city and has really proven herself here. So on behalf of myself, I very much look forward to working with you on behalf of our community.
Councilmember Franklin.
Yes, so unlike the previous week, this is my first rodeo in working with selecting a city manager. And I also am very thrilled to welcome you to that position. I think the residents of Manhattan Beach are going to be well served, as well as staff and the council. So nothing but the best of wishes for you. And thank you for choosing Manhattan Beach.
Sorry, that was very nice. Thank you. Councilmember Montgomery.
Thank you, Your Honor. Well, you heard Jill from downtown VID mention this already, but you wonder why Lot 3 demo went so well? Well, Talyn, before she was city manager, she was the interim spot, walked with me and a guy named Andy Cohen in Gensler to walk around and see things we hadn't seen before. He pointed out the little private parking lot we had never seen before, behind the newspaper people above them. And he pointed out this, and that. So she got a bird's eye view that we hadn't seen. And all of a sudden, when she found the good people that You saw. They're making this look like easy, like a Lego set break apart over there. It's not that easy, especially if power lines going across the alleyway that we all saw. So that creativity we saw, and also the point she was looking at, where can I create extra parking to help Jill in downtown and our business survive during this period of year and a half that they go through. So the creativity part, most people didn't see it. We saw it. Nobody else seemed to catch that part until afterwards and went, wow, she's that good doing the interim. Imagine what she would do if she had it full time. So seeing that first part, I had no doubt about it. So we leave it in good hands with you three going forward. But Jill, to your people and everybody else in the new council, takes one less stress off your back. Someone who knows the city, knows our way around, knows our people, and moves it forward. So I couldn't pick anybody better.
Thank you for your comments, and I am grateful the two of you were part of this process. So we have a motion made by Councilmember Napolitano to appoint Talyn Mirzakhanian as our new city manager and approve her employment contract. That's been seconded by Councilmember Montgomery. Why don't we take a vote?
Are we voting before the public input, though?
I took public input. Ha, I did. I asked for public comments. All right.
Motion passes 5-0.
All right. I was going to wait till you were appointed. Would you like to make some comments?
Thank you, Honorable Mayor and council members. I'm deeply honored to step into the role of city manager and to have this opportunity to serve this incredible community in this new capacity. I'm committed to ensuring that the city continues to thrive, even amidst any challenges that may come our way. I promise to serve with integrity, to foster transparency and collaboration, and to ensure that we are making progress on the goals and initiatives set forth by the City Council, which in turn will build a brighter future for the city of Manhattan Beach. So thank you.
Thank you. Wonderful. And, you're someone that sets such high standards for yourself. So I look forward to seeing you reach those standards. So great. All right, thank you. Okay, item number 14, discussion of options for changing the start time of the street closures for the holiday fireworks. If we may have Police Chief Rachel Johnson come join us.
Well, good evening, Mayor Haworth, members of the council. Rachel Johnson, your police chief. This item will be presented by Lieutenant Saboski from the Traffic Division.
Thank you.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor, members of City Council. My name is Matt Saboski, Traffic Special Events Lieutenant. At the October 1st, 2024 council meeting, the City Council directed staff to research and present information related to the timing of the street closures for the holiday fireworks show. At the September 17th, 24 City Council meeting, some downtown business owners spoke during public comment and expressed concern that street closures would affect business revenues during the holiday fireworks event. A request to consider closing the streets at 2 p.m. rather than the planned 1 p.m. closure was discussed. The holiday fireworks event is scheduled for December 8, 2024. In addition to the fireworks show at 7 p.m., several activities begin at 3 p.m. and 4 p.m. The Upper South Pier parking lot will host a snow park for children. The Upper North Pier parking lot will host a VIP area for dining and event viewing. Several activities will begin on Manhattan Avenue, including a Santa Claus meet and greet. A stage at the base of the pier provides live bands, and the Maricosta Choir carolers stroll the downtown area. In addition to these scheduled activities, blanket seating has historically been permitted on Manhattan Beach Boulevard for fireworks viewing, beginning at 3 p.m. when these activities begin. For context, the 2023 holiday fireworks timeline for street closures and activities were as follows. At 6 a.m., we closed all pier parking lots in the 100 block of Manhattan Beach Boulevard to facilitate pyrotechnic setup, the building of the main stage, setup of the VIP area, and the snow park in the upper pier parking lots. At 1 p.m., we closed Manhattan Beach Boulevard and Manhattan Ave to Manhattan Beach Boulevard and Valley Drive to facilitate the clearing of streets, towing of vehicles, and installation of the vehicle barriers. Also at 1 p.m., we closed Manhattan Avenue and 11th to Manhattan Ave and 14th to facilitate the clearing of streets and the towing of vehicles and the barriers. And then at 2 p.m., we closed Manhattan Ave and 9th Street to Manhattan Ave and 11th to facilitate the clearing of streets for 88 parking. At 3 p.m., we do the hard lockdown where we install the vehicle barriers. At 3 p.m., the Sketcher Snow Park opens and the Friendship for the Friendship Foundation. At 3 p.m., we begin the seating on Manhattan Beach Boulevard behind the vehicle barriers. Around 4 p.m., all activities, including Santa Claus photograph station, begin on Manhattan Avenue. Also at 4 p.m., the snow park opens to the general public. 4 p.m., live bands begin to play, and then 7 p.m., fireworks, and 10 p.m., cleanup usually concludes. So in addition to the closures, the police department is responsible for providing physical safety and security to over 50,000 residents and visitors against any physical threats in the area. The police department conducts bomb dog searches and stages several SWAT teams and sniper teams. A command post must be set up, and over 100 CSE security and law enforcement personnel must be briefed and deployed to monitor the large crowds that are permitted to begin seating on Manhattan Beach Boulevard beginning at 3 p.m. In addition to these safety concerns, all vendors must be loaded in and released from the secure area before the area is closed to vehicular traffic and locked behind the vehicle barriers at 3 p.m. The request to move the street closures from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. I believe is feasible. However, the movement of this closure time has the potential to move the availability of permitted seating on Manhattan Beach Boulevard from 3 to 4 p.m. In addition, the final setup of vendors and activity areas hired by the Downtown Manhattan Beach Business and Professional Association on Manhattan Avenue could be delayed from 4 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. The exact time of delay is related to the seating on Manhattan Beach Boulevard and activity areas on Manhattan Avenue will not be known until the day of the event, as the logistical challenges with the moving of street closures times cannot be fully anticipated. The 6 a.m. closures in the Warner-Harlan block of Manhattan Beach Boulevard cannot be adjusted. This is to ensure that the proper load-in of the event infrastructure. Adjusting the 1 p.m. closure beyond the 2 p.m. time is not feasible if Santa Claus entertainment is to begin at 4 p.m., and the rest of the event is scheduled to remain unchanged. Staff recommends that the City Council discuss and provide direction on the next steps, if any. Thank you.
Thank you for your report. Okay, Council, are there any questions?
I have one. I'm a little bit confused as to why we're hearing this item. What are the benefits that are offsetting some of the concerns that our police department has about changing the time? Someone able to speak?
It was a request.
I know it was a request, but I'm still not hearing what the reason is for doing
I
it.
can tell you that the Downtown Business Association asked that we consider this because, you know, it's a holiday season. They're losing a lot. You know, they're already, the streets shut down in their businesses. There's nothing.
The retailers.
The retailers,
Especially.
I'm sorry. The retailers especially, that's fair. So they asked that we consider it. So
Got it.
That's what
Thank
we're
you.
doing. Okay, any other questions? Okay, why don't we open it up to public comment?
Come on.
Come on, Jill.
You're going to come down anyway.
It's your night.
This is the
Oh, golly.
this
It's the second time.
this is the Joe Lampkin show.
I don't know, that's all we need is some sort of claim, right? Jill Lampkin, Downtown Professional Association. The reason that we did ask for this is because it's, over the years, it's gotten earlier and earlier and earlier, and now we're at 1 o'clock on Manhattan Avenue, which is a lot of retailers. And we certainly do not want to jeopardize public safety in any way, shape, or form, but we have one less week this year for holiday shopping between Thanksgiving and Christmas. And October was horrible for everyone. And it was across all industries. And it usually is around an election that, that happens. But we have agreed that we will, any of the entertainment that we have, we'll wait. We'll have them stationed on the sidewalks, waiting until the PD tells us it's clear. Usually that happens prior, and so we can go out. But an hour makes a huge difference in terms of foot traffic. We're trying to add additional entertainment to bring people back down earlier, so that they have a reason to be here to support the businesses. Otherwise, we don't really see anybody back downtown from 1 o'clock until 6 o'clock, and that's a completely dead 5 hours for all of those retailers. So that's the reason for the request.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. Any other public comment? Okay. Seeing none in chambers, are there any residents or people on Zoom that want to discuss this?
No request on Zoom.
Okay. Closing public comments. One thing I might suggest is I know that we're going to be talking about parking lot 3 coming up, and there may be some ideas that come out of that that could impact the holiday fireworks. Is that something with shuttles, or, is that something that we can discuss at that point?
We will be discussing the potential for a shuttle for that event. So if you'd like to, I don't know how that would impact setup time.
That's fair. It doesn't, that's
It's
fair.
solving a different problem.
It's solving a different problem, but it could be a
Plus,
way to
when
get
would
people.
the shuttles begin?
We'll have to discuss that.
In about an hour, I think we've,
We can discuss it now if it's
Okay,
part
all
of it.
right.
I think the way we have options, but we've researched it such that it would begin about an hour before the event.
Okay, so I might suggest that there might be other options there, because I feel like that wouldn't do much for this problem.
Right.
And I think again, I'd rather talk about during that item, but it's a little awkward right now, but I would say that an hour before is probably not enough time, because most people like to get down there sooner than that. That would be, okay. Councilmember Montgomery.
Thank you, Your Honor. Well, this is the 36th annual fireworks, so it doesn't catch anybody off guard. 36 years, you should know what fireworks mean, and you should know where they take place, and you should know what it blocks off. So given all that, it's an extraordinary time with the loss of Lot 3. That's true. But what it doesn't impact is public safety. I'm loath to change anything that would affect it. We all see what happens in the city. 50,000 people show up to use this drone and check it out from north to south. And look how deep it goes. On the backside of the MBB, you realize this. I'm an unofficial volunteer for the Fireworks Association for 16 years. It grows and grows every year, and the impact and the stress on fire and PD grows and grows and grows. We're lucky we have not had anything serious happen at the bottom of the pier during any of the shows. That's a lucky piece. They plan for it, and then what if happens, and I would be serious concerns about changing anything that has to do with that access point and planning for it. You can see, 100 block of MBB is not going to be touched at 6 a.m. You can't do it. That's throw it out the window. The idea of moving it up doesn't just affect everybody else down the road. It affects people that are waiting with their blankets and ice chests and red cups to get on the street and plan and see it. They're not going to have any idea you guys moved it back another hour. That's not going to change the stampede, folks. That will not do anything at all to piss them all off. So you want to go shopping before that? They know the rules. Get there early, shop around, put your blanket, then continue on for 3 hours. But I think it's a terrible idea. Nothing wrong with the ask, but a terrible idea to shove everything else around for that 1 hour you're going to gain. It's not worth it. I'll stop there, Your Honor.
All right, Councilmember Franklin.
Yes. So there's been a lot of pressure on the retailers, just from parking lot 3 and the like, and also I didn't even think about that, the election, certainly not the local election, but just all the elections and everything like that. And I think they've just been under a lot of stress, and I really, and I don't want to do 20 years ago, but 20 years ago, we got there at 4 o'clock, and everybody walked there. Mm-hmm. And they got there at 4 o'clock and set up on the street, the blankets and everything like that. Now, it is much, much bigger. It's enormously bigger. It has really grown in popularity. We canceled the K9 car show because of the interference that would have with the retailers down there. And they still seem to have a impacted month. Well, that was September. Yeah. So I think it's worth it maybe just this one time to go ahead and change the setup time to 2 p.m. And I think everybody's professional and flexible, and I think they'd be able to handle it. So I don't have a problem with it starting earlier.
Okay, thank you, Councilmember Lesser.
I really empathize with the concerns of retailers. We want our downtown to be successful and thriving, but I share the concerns of Councilmember Montgomery as well. I'm not sure I feel comfortable as a public policymaker in second-guessing our police department and assessing what our needs are to ensure that those people that we are bringing to our downtown are safe. So I think we have to defer to our police department to assess the various variables and defer to them. So I would not be in favor of changing the time, but what I might be in favor of, and maybe there's some sort of compromise here, to encourage the police departments to double-check the schedule and ensure that we cannot push the time back based on their professional opinion.
Councilmember Napolitano.
Well, I mean, it's a tough one, but I think they've already given their professional opinion. And it's hard for me to say, oh, no, we're not going to do it for an hour. I don't know what that hour is going to get. If I had some data or something I could go off of saying this is going to make a big difference, this window of 1 hour, I think what most people understand and expect is like this is an all-day thing down at the, you're committed. When you're committing to a big event, an outdoor event like the fireworks, that's going to affect everything else that day. It's just a fact of it. You know, I guess I would push back in the sense of, well, can the retailers stay open an extra hour in the evenings than they otherwise would for the 4 weeks? I'm sure they are. But again, they stay open till 9 on the, or 10 or whatever it is on the open house. You know, can they make it up some way? I have a hard time believing that they're going to make up so much within that 1 hour that's worth jeopardizing safety for. I would love for it to be 20 years ago where everyone leaves their doors open and we all don't think about the possibility of a car careening down, but there's reason why we bought all those huge barriers. And because those things have happened and they can happen now. And we've seen bad things happen. And I have to err on the side of safety on this one and just hope that the businesses find another way to make up for that time. But that 1 hour on that one day, it's hard for me to justify that so much is going to be spent in that 1 hour to make up for everything else. I'd rather err on the side of safety.
I want to point out that they're asking for Manhattan Avenue only. So, and the staff report says that the request to move the street closures from 1 to 2 is feasible, and that it might move the availability of permitted seating from 3 to 4. So it's the safety issue. I feel like the police are still covering the safety issue. It's just people might not be able to put out. Well, it's the permitted seating. That's not the same as blankets, is it? Is that the? Yes, that is the same. Sorry. Okay. So people would go put their blankets down at 4 rather than 3. So I was amenable to it. I thought, you know, I want to give the businesses a break. But I hear my colleagues concerned about safety, and I don't know.
Set up and everything, it's just a domino effect.
Yeah, okay. No, that's fine. I see the votes, but I just wanted to make it known. And so everybody come to the fireworks and come early and shop, and let's have a great fireworks.
Your Honor?
Yes,
Do you want me to remind them what date it actually is?
Yes, I believe it's Sunday, December 8th. Is that correct?
December 8th, folks. Put on your calendar, December 8th.
December 8th. It is a fantastic event, of course, and but thank you for bringing it forward. Thank you for your consideration. Okay. Moving on to item 15, and thank you to the police department. Item 15, consideration of introducing and first reading of an ordinance to establish applicable regulations regarding drinking water system cross-connection controls. And Eric Lee, Public Works Director.
Well, good evening, Honorable Mayor and members of the City Council. This evening, Utilities Manager Jeff Page will be giving the presentation. Thank you.
Okay, wonderful.
Good evening, Mayor, members of the City Council. I'm Jeff Page, Utilities Manager. And tonight I'm here to introduce a proposed ordinance regarding keeping our drinking water safe as it relates to cross-connection controls. City of Manhattan Beach is committed to providing the community with fresh, clean, and wholesome drinking water, and one aspect of that is our cross-connection control program. So, question, what is a cross-connection? So the state gives us this definition, but in reality, it's an arrangement of piping on the customer side of the water meter that would actually allow for harmful substances and contaminated water to come back into the drinking water system. And here we kind of have a rudimentary idea of what a cross connection is. It's somebody innocuously filling up their pool with the drinking water, with the hose in the pool. And if we were to lose water pressure in the water main at that time, it could easily back siphon into the water main. So losing water pressure in the water main could be caused by fire suppression activities by the fire department. It could be water quality flushing. It could be a main break. So all those things could kind of spur this on. Other examples, residential irrigation systems can be cross-connection hazards, fire sprinkler systems. And the fire sprinkler systems, the water will travel into the piping and just stay there. It doesn't recirculate or anything. So as it sits there, I mean, it could sit there for years and have bacteriological contamination, as well as grow molds and slimes and things like that. We definitely don't want that back in the water supply. So on the commercial side, we have boilers, carbonation equipment, dental equipment, fire sprinkler systems too, x-ray machines, and probably a multitude of a whole bunch of things out there. So as it relates to cross connections, we want to guard against backflow, which is the reversal of flow of water back into the public water supply. So according to the CDC and the US EPA, cross connections cause over 50% of waterborne disease outbreaks in distribution systems, and it is likely to be higher than that if all of those incidents were actually reported. So a comprehensive cross-connection control program provides for public health protection, compliance with drinking water regulations, and an elevated level of risk management for the city. So how are cross-connections mitigated? So one is through an air gap separation, which you don't see very often. But if you've got a dishwasher and you've got that little shiny thing on top up there, that's actually an air gap. So the other one is a backflow prevention assembly, which you probably have seen. They're usually in cages around the city. They're usually in green cages. But city staff installed this one recently on a city property near American Martyrs and really did a great job. So we have amendments to the state regulations. They went into effect on July 1st, 2024, and these rules are located in the Cross-Connection Control Policy Handbook. Previously, they were part of Title 17 of the California Code of Regulations. That was the original set of rules went into effect in the late 80s, but now we have new rules that are going into effect. So the city has always maintained a compliant cross-connection control program as required by the state, and so many of these requirements that are in the cross-connection control handbook are already met by many of the businesses in town. We're here to establish an ordinance, which is one of the on our checklist of things to do. So that's what the new policy handbook asks us to do, is to enact an ordinance to establish legal authority to implement corrective action, which we don't have right now. We have to submit a cross-connection control plan for approval by the state, to the states, the State Water Board's Division of Drinking Water by July 1st, 2025. And all properties must be in compliance in the city by July 1st, 2034. So I'll talk a little bit more about the cross-connection control plan here in the next few slides. So the ordinance, as we are looking to pass tonight, is basically just the framework for the cross-connection control program. So it gives the basics on us providing for hazard assessments and surveys of properties. So we'll actually have to go to some properties, namely businesses, and assess whether or not they need a backflow device. For residential properties, we can conduct surveys through the mail and just get an idea of what's out there. So to provide for annual testing of the backflow devices, those need to get tested once per year. It will call out the installation conditions that necessitate a backflow device. So, and there's many conditions that would require that device. Provides for notification and compliance as well as enforcement. So, impact to property owners. There's about 3,000 residential properties out there with fire sprinkler systems that do not have backflow devices. We checked into it and found that the projected cost would be around $7,000 to $12,000 per property. Records indicate about 317 of commercial and industrial properties may be out of compliance, but we don't know for sure until we conduct the hazard assessments. And the projected costs for those are $10,000 to $40,000 per property. And that price is largely dependent on the size of the device and the amount of room there. If it's, say, a restaurant that has a small water service, it would be around the $10,000 range. But if you've got a large medical facility that has large piping going in, it would cost much more. And then again, we'll determine compliance through our inspections. So about the cross-connection control plan, again, that's due to the state of California's Division of Drinking Water, July 1st, 2025. And there we're really going to dig into the details of our plan moving forward with our cross-connection control work. We're going to establish timelines for compliance based on risk to the water system. So the higher the risk are the first ones that will get evaluated. We'll outline plans for additional public outreach, create SOPs, and along the way, we'll always be on the lookout for grant funding opportunities for those who may qualify for assistance. So our plan is to bring this before City Council for consideration and input prior to state submittal, because this is kind of the nuts and bolts of the program going forward. And we don't want to submit something to the state that council is not happy with. So we're looking at late March to early April to bring that before you.
Okay.
So benefits of a robust program. We first and foremost, we want to protect public health. That's the first thing we want to do. It brings an enhanced community confidence when we do this, and also economic stability, because if we have a backflow event that we have to shut down the water lines with, it affects businesses, residents, and nobody's happy at that point. So we've conducted some outreach and support. For business engagement, we've talked with Manhattan Beach Downtown Business and Professional Association, the Manhattan Beach Chamber of Commerce, as well as Mike Sims. And we have conducted some community events. We've attended those, Hometown Fair, as well as the Water Harvest Festival that same weekend that was hosted by West Basin Municipal Water District. So we've got information on the website already with FAQs, resources, contact information. We plan to do social media campaigns going forward, and also provide ongoing personalized support for businesses and residents. So anyway, thanks for listening to my presentation. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Great, thank you so much. I'm sure there are questions. Councilmember Montgomery.
Thank you, Your Honor. Hey, Jeff, 3 questions. First, we know it's state mandated. You said you've outreached already. Have you reached out to every single property owner that you know is affected by out-of-date sprinklers so far?
Not yet.
Okay, that's going to happen in March or April of next year?
No, we're gonna we're coming up with a plan. So full compliance of the entire city needs to be July 1st, 2034. So
2034.
34. Yes.
You have a long way to go. All right.
Yeah.
So assuming that we're 2033 today, what would the fine schedule? If someone gets a notice from you, in theory, it works out. You mail them, you email them, you knock on their door. How does that work? And then for fines of what?
if it was 2033 and we're up against 2034,
pick a date.
I think we'd be knocking on people's doors and offering whatever help we can, you know.
And there's a fine structure in place, or are you going to make one up between now and 2033?
That, you know, we're going to work through that with through the plan. So over the next few months, we're going to come up with the plan and the details. It's not so much a fine structure as it's going to be, they would have to turn their water off if they're jeopardizing.
That's
community health.
enforcement in my mind.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
So you're going to notify them in advance where you turn the water off and say, you correct your sprinkler system by this date, or we turn your water off. That's the enforcement. It's not a fine, it's turn your water off.
Yeah, exactly. That's how we'll do that. And well, you know, we'll give as much notice as we can. We'll work with people. You know, it's like I said, it's off a priority. If it's an egregious situation, we have to act fast. You know, we can't wait. And
I think water turning off will take care of that for you.
yeah, but well, we give a guidance and notice and all that prior to that.
Thank you, Jeff. Nothing further, Your Honor.
Okay, Mayor Pro Tem Lesser.
Jeff, I understand this is conceptual, and you'll be coming back to council with greater specifics, but we have a draft ordinance for first reading, and I'm a little bit confused about the inspection process, both for residential and commercial. So who is conceptually expected to be doing the inspections? You mentioned yourself reaching out to businesses for existing property, not for new properties, which could go through plan review. I'm just wondering, what's the conceptual idea of how we're going to be able to undertake this level of inspections?
So we have on staff a cross-connection control specialist who is trained to do this work. And I think a lot of the residential will be done initially on the honor system through, you know, mailers, you know, tell us if you have sprinkler systems, fire protection systems, and or you know, a pool on site. And so a lot of the focus initially will be on the businesses where we may have to actually conduct surveys of the property to see what they have. If we go into a business and the piping is so complex that we can't figure it out, then that means that they need a backflow device because it's so complex. There's no way to know if there's actually a hazard or not.
There's going to be cost incurred with staff time to do these inspections, correct?
Yeah. That's their title as a and their workload is dedicated.
Councilmember Franklin.
Yes, hi, Jeff. Thank you. So is it a state mandated program?
Yes.
It is, okay. And since when? I mean,
since 1987, the initial rules were put into place, and now we have new rules that we have to adapt to.
Okay. Wouldn't, even from 1987, wouldn't there have been some sort of design element if you're building a new home and things like that? That should have been compliant, you know?
Yeah, some of that's built into the plumbing code. There's anti-siphon valves and things for sprinkler systems, and there's the backflow devices on the hose bibs and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But the rules were silent on fire protection systems until now.
Okay. So you're an engineer. I don't expect you to answer this. How many cases have we had of waterborne diseases through the water pipes?
None that I know of.
Okay. So you say there are about 3,000 residential properties that currently out of compliance are costing anywhere from $7,000 to $12,000 per property. I just did an average of $10,000. 3,000 times $10,000 is $30 million.
Yeah.
Okay, has the state come up? I saw that there was some opportunities for grants. Is there?
None so far.
None so far. Okay, so we're going to expect us to go to 3,000 residents and say, no one's gotten sick. It doesn't look like you got this, and it's going to cost $10,000.
So I would say likely, since there are a lot of fire protection systems installed in residential properties, if we did have a mainline event where we had to shut down the water main, I would guess that some of these have already flowed into the system and we just hadn't known it.
Okay. And then records indicate that 317 of non-residential properties may be out of compliance from $10,000 to $40,000. I average that out, and that's $8 million.
Right.
So we're talking about a total impact to residences and businesses of about $38 million that they're going to have to come up with. Let's see. So you have a picture on slide number 8, which is page 360. You see the red pipes, and I think I've seen some of them around. You know, slide number 9. I've seen some of them around. Is that probably a commercial property?
That's a big one, yeah.
That's a big one.
That's an
Okay.
expensive one, yeah.
And you showed something simple with an air gap. Would that be something that would be on a residence?
No, because you would have to have a water tank on site, and then the water would have to flow into the water tank with a gap between the piping and the receiving vessel.
And then the house would be served from the water tank?
Yeah, so it's not really practical.
So
that would be expensive also.
But that's what they would have to do, right? They would.
Well, in lieu of a backflow device, you would have to have something, either a backflow device. There is an option that we're exploring, and it would be a flow-through for the fire protection system, where you actually can hook it up to the lavatory. So when you use the lavatory, it will actually recirculate the water in the fire protection system. But that could be really costly if there's several levels if it's a 3-story house.
Each lavatory would have to be set up like that, or just?
It would have to. An engineer would have to figure out how to install it and have that so it's the line is constantly purged. There would be multiple lines.
Okay, so when a home is sold, there's usually real estate disclosures. Would this then rise to the level of something that would need to be disclosed on a real estate contract? So someone buying, I don't expect you to know this, but I mean, that's a question I have is,
Let's call Ben or Al and ask them. We can call our sitting member and senator and ask that question.
Yeah.
Sacramento put it on us.
Right, yeah, so.
In 1980 something.
1987, okay. Let's see, and I had the same question about the inspector. And are we going to charge for that inspection?
There's no plans for that right now, but we can discuss that.
Okay. And, okay, thank you.
Okay, any other questions from my colleagues at this time? All right, let me open public comment. Is there anyone in chambers who would like to comment on this cross-connection control program to prevent bacteria from getting into our drinking water supply? Okay, anybody online?
No request on Zoom.
Okay, let me go back to, okay, so Councilmember Montgomery, you've made a motion. That motion is?
Introduce the, and first reading, an ordinance to establish applicable regulations regarding drinking water system cross-connection controls. Thank you, Sacramento.
I have seconded that motion without the addendum. Okay, any other comment? Yes?
Before there's a vote, I'll read the title.
Please.
Ordinance number 24-0004, an ordinance of the City of Manhattan Beach establishing regulations regarding water supply, cross connections, amending Title VII of the Manhattan Beach Municipal Code, and making a determination that the ordinance is exempt under the California Environmental Quality Act.
Okay, it just went away.
Oh,
You wanted to speak?
yeah,
Okay,
yeah. I just wanted to make a comment. So, what struck me about this were the costs that we went through. I mean, they're going to be unexpected expenses, put upon our residents. We see how difficult it is when we're doing undergrounding to get the residents to go ahead and put in a $10,000 or $12,000 electrical panel. But there's a benefit there in terms of undergrounding and the like. You can argue that the benefit here is it's going to keep everybody safe in the house from an issue that nobody was aware of, because nobody's getting sick from this. I don't know what we can do as far as going back to Sacramento and talking to whichever department was responsible for this, but this seems to be an unreasonable burden to put on our residents and our businesses.
I mean, one thing I would say is this is an ordinance policy, to make us compliant, and that if you look at the target date of 2034, many homes will turn over by then, and some will be completely rebuilt with new plumbing that, when we put in a new irrigation system, we had to have the backflow. You have to do this now. So that number is going to decrease as the years go by. And it's not just keeping the water in your home safe, it's keeping the water supply safe. And we are in a earthquake area. And, this is kind of one of those governmental things that we are responsible for public safety, I believe. But Councilmember Napolitano?
Well, I don't disagree with Councilmember Franklin, but in terms of getting Sacramento to change anything, I think we've gone down this road. You have firsthand experience now, and we have had that experience on other issues as well, and it's not going to happen. And if it does, I mean, there are vehicles for that. There's the League of California Cities, the independent cities of the country, so we can certainly bring those up there. But the problem is, as we've seen before, even when we think that there's a simple solution to something, we take it to Sacramento. 2309 is a good example of that, where it gets amended to the point that is the exact opposite of what we were trying to accomplish there, which would have served a lot of cities well. But regardless, I don't have faith that bringing this up to anybody is going to change anything. It's the voters who have to pay this in the future to make this change. I hope that make their assembly members and state senators aware of the concern here. But in the meantime, there are other things we're going to fight Sacramento on, I'm sure. But you got to pick and choose. I don't think this is the one that we're going to succeed on.
So if I may ask a question, with community development, about how many homes get demolished and rebuilt, per year? 10 per month. 10 per month? So
10 per month.
10 per month, so 120
a year.
So 1,200 over 10 years, and our housing stock is about 10 times that, 13,000?
Well, that's assuming all the other ones aren't up to date either.
Yeah.
Well, there's 3,000. They said there's up to 3,000 that are probably out of compliance, so.
So this is exactly the thing that, we get calls on when people hear about it, and it comes to them, and we call it Sacramento overreach. So I guess we just had an election, so you just got to choose your representatives carefully.
Okay, thank you. Councilmember Lesser.
I share the concerns of my colleagues, but may I make a suggestion for when this matter comes back with greater specificity? One, a better description of the problem we're trying to solve in terms of what other issues other cities have faced. Second, how have other cities approached the same sort of challenges we have? Because this is a state mandate, which doesn't just apply to our city. We're making it sound like this is just us. This is not just us. This is across the state. And I think some other examples would be helpful, including fines, costs for residents. What do we do with residents where this is going to be a financial hardship? I think for staff, when you come back, it would be helpful to know some of this greater specificity as we move forward with the state-mandated program.
Understood.
Councilmember Montgomery.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'll wrap up here. Yeah, it's a State Water Resources Board. State Water Resources Board, it's not the Assembly and Senate by themselves.
That's right.
They're the ones that control water quality. They're the ones that make us pay a permit before we fire fireworks, test the water day before and test the water day after.
Right.
Same people that acquire this are the same ones that are doing this to us now. So yes, it started in '87, Joe, but they finally got around to realizing they got to catch up with it now with new rules, and they just stuck it to us. So if you want to make a difference, think about next time you vote for someone in Sacramento. I doubt the common sense of the majority up there to understand what it means, or the cost to cities, or the cost to residents. They have no clue. All they know is it sounds good, let's put it on the table and see what happens. So this is another unfunded mandate that we cities have to deal with, that our residents and businesses have to deal with. But it's what it is, and we go forward. And to David's point there earlier, Skip, I think when you come back, tell us, we charged to send a fire inspector out there. I can't imagine we're going to do the same thing and since went out for this and not charge for it. So, food for thought. That's my motion, Your Honor.
Great.
We lost the voting.
We lost the ability to vote.
Is that a metaphor?
At this point, yes. Okay. Okay.
Motion passes 5-0.
How are my colleagues doing? Do we need a 5-minute break before the next item? Are we good? We're good?
I just need to grab my water.
Go grab it.
What time is it? 7:30?
7:30?
5 minutes.
Let's take a 5-minute break.
I'm sorry, Quinn.
Oh, you locked Quinn in.
Oh, no. Okay, colleagues, we are back. We are on item number 16, which is discussion of the city's Neighborhood Watch Program, and I see Police Chief Johnson and somebody on deck.
Yes, ma'am.
Somebody.
Yes, ma'am. Good evening, Mayor Haworth and members of the City Council. Again, Rachel Johnson, your police chief. This item will be presented by Sergeant Abreu from our Community Affairs Office.
Okay. You're just hanging out down there. Just hanging out.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor and council members. As the chief introduced me, my name is Andy Abreu. I'm the sergeant in charge of the Community Affairs Office. So on September 3rd, the council directed the PD to clarify our Neighborhood Watches program association with the PD and staff time devoted to the program. So a little background about our Neighborhood Watch program. It was started in 1980 by the residents of this community who were concerned about crime and wanted to reduce crime in the neighborhood. So our Neighborhood Watch is structured, it's structured very well. So we have 11 area coordinators, we have over 400 block captains, there's an executive committee with bylaws, and in that executive committee there's a director, an assistant director, an area coordinator chairperson, a data manager, a treasurer, a secretary, a city council liaison. Out of my office assistant is the Neighborhood Watch liaison for the PD. And then there's a community emergency response team member, so otherwise known as CERT. And they work with the fire department for Map Your Neighborhood. For those unfamiliar with Map Your Neighborhood, it's a disaster preparedness program for residents that provide training on steps to take after a natural disaster or major disaster. So just to talk a little bit about my office's role in Neighborhood Watch. So there's myself, which is a sergeant. I have an officer assigned to me, and I have an office assistant. So as far as talking about staff time devoted, my office assistant devotes about 50% of her day staff time on Neighborhood Watch. That number does fluctuate because we do other things. So we meet weekly with the executive director of Neighborhood Watch to discuss any issues brought about by the block captains, area coordinators, or just residents in general, or anything going on in the city. We also do driveway meetings throughout the year where I'll get called from block captains, area coordinators, and they'll ask me to come out to a neighborhood. I just did one 2 weeks ago, and I'll talk to some residents about, it was on residential burglaries 2 weeks ago, but we do that. We also go to 5 area coordinator meetings a year. We assist and facilitate with block captain training, and we onboard all the block captains, which means when a person wants to be a block captain, they come in, we live scan them, issue them their badges, and things of that nature. So I would say that Manhattan Beach has the most comprehensive Neighborhood Watch program in the South Bay, and as you see on the staff report that I wrote, it's a wide range of what departments in the South Bay do. I surveyed several departments in the South Bay, and I mean, it ranges from you have departments that meet with block captains twice a year, and then you have agencies that their lieutenants are in charge of districts. They break up their city into districts, and they'll go out to their community meetings. They hold little town hall events. So basically, no other city has area coordinators. No other city has an executive committee or bylaws like we do, and no other city, including us, nobody is a 501c3 in the entire South Bay. So to conclude my presentation, Neighborhood Watch, we have an unbelievable Neighborhood Watch program, and the police department is always here to continuously partner and support our Neighborhood Watch. And I'll take your questions now.
Colleagues? Councilmember Lesser.
If I might, I'd like to add to what Sergeant Abreu said. Thank you for that base presentation.
Thank you,
Let me
sir.
explain, particularly to the public as well as my council colleagues, why this item is before us tonight. Essentially, it's as follows, and that is Manhattan Beach Neighborhood Watch is seeking to modernize what its volunteers do in conjunction with the city and wants to work in partnership with the police department as well as the fire department, which oversees the Map Your Neighborhood program. But there's some uncertainty as to some responsibilities, as to who's doing what, the volunteers versus the city staff. So there's that first issue. Second, it's working with 2 separate city departments, particularly as it seeks to embrace the Map Your Neighborhood program. And finally, it's coordinating the updates with city staff as to what it's going to be in the future. So for tonight, essentially, I believe, and we'll hear from the founder as well as its longtime director, But we want to seek city support, just reaffirming city support for the Neighborhood Watch program as a baseline. Second, directing the police department and fire department to review the proposed new programming and, recommend city staff and resources, if this is indeed a priority of our city, what the city is able to provide to supplement the volunteers. And finally, we can go deeper, of course, and really talk about the specific staffing needs, but I'm not sure if this council wants to do that. But at a minimum, at this point in time, where the program is reevaluating its role and how it can fulfill its mission, it seeks some reaffirmation from council. So that's
A clarifying question. So at this time, there's not suggestions from the Neighborhood Watch, like Executive Board, as to what their role should be. It's a reaffirmation of our support for them?
So
Is that
is my understanding. We'll hear from the record
Okay.
or in public comment, but it's simply providing a platform so we can really continue this process with a little less confusion as to who's supposed to be doing what and how.
Okay. All right. Other comments from my colleagues? Or questions for Sergeant Abreu?
I'll wait for public input.
Okay. All right. Okay. Public comments. Charlotte Lesser.
Good evening, Mayor and members of council, gentlemen of council, Madam Mayor. I'm Charlotte Lesser. I am founder and director of the Neighborhood Watch program. I might add that it is also a city, county, state, and nationally recognized program. I have three things to ask you or to talk to you about. One is to tell you that we're alive and well, the network is working well, and to give you a little update on the fact that over the last 2 years, I've been improving and adding new younger members to the leadership there. I'm announcing to you publicly tonight that in April of 2025, I'll be retiring. And with that in mind, it's important for us to have a clear set of forward movement. And I've come to ask you for that reaffirmation of the value of Neighborhood Watch to the city and to the safety on the blocks, and also to emergency preparedness now as we add or re-add our Map Your Neighborhood program. Probably post-COVID, things kind of were hard to get started, and there was a whole different sort of look at Neighborhood Watch from the new police administration. And with additional things, we have no more time. Oh, well, the last thing I'd like to say is I would very much like the staff to take a look at the staffing and the funding that might be available ongoing and how that looks for the future.
Charlotte, if you need a little bit of extra time, I mean,
well,
because I feel like you're reporting out on this
Yeah,
topic.
you're the director, so.
You're the director, so with
Pretend
my
it's
colleagues.
Russ.
Yeah, but don't let him speak.
You mean Russ has a lot to say and says it often?
Yeah.
Yes, that's true. Well, basically, the concept that I would like for the future, for the people taking this position and other leadership positions, is a clear view of the balance of the work from the police department and from the fire department, and how the administration of that affects the volunteer effort. And volunteers, they're volunteers, and they do as much as they can, but they have another world that they live in. But they rely heavily on the support that's offered, and that's in the form of the funding that's available for both the promotional items and also for any of the detail that they need to provide for, say, your Map Your Neighborhood program brochures. And the relationship is extremely important, and having it well defined and having the next generation of Neighborhood Watch administration clear on that would be very helpful. So we're asking the city to evaluate what is available ongoing in the future. So thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Okay. Other public comments? Okay. Madam City Clerk?
No request on Zoom.
Okay. All right, colleagues?
Question, Your Honor.
Yes, sir.
So what sets the baseline relationship between the city and the Neighborhood Watch, knowing that it is a nonprofit?
It isn't.
It isn't a nonprofit.
It isn't a
Yeah, so what
nonprofit.
do we have in place?
We have an ongoing partnership with Neighborhood Watch. We have our office assistant from Community Affairs who allocates about 50% of her time to.
Oh, no, I read all that, but
Right.
but I guess to Councilmember Lesser's point, there's not like an MOU or anything like that.
No, sir, they have bylaws, but there's not an MOU between.
They
the
have a
police department.
bylaws, right,
There's
but
no-
we don't have something.
No, sir.
Right. Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
And that's where, I mean, to my point, you know, the problem, I don't have any more questions, Chief, thank you. I don't want to throw anyone under the bus, but I will. No, no, but every now and then, right, I'll just say it, I hear grumblings. When we changed over the weekly crime report, we got grumblings that certain folks felt left out, that their input wasn't taken seriously, that they weren't getting the information they didn't like it, maybe that's just a fact of change, and some folks don't like change, but, you know, there was some hurt feelings behind the scenes, whether they're with the retirement of, not pointing to Charlotte, but with the retirement of Charlotte in 2025 and everything, maybe it's time to put something down on paper to have really outline what the roles are, what the responsibilities are, so that you have clear expectations and to avoid things. And I really, you know, in moving forward, we won't be here, but maybe it's time for the organization to put down their thoughts as to how this can work, not only what has worked, but then what can work better.
Yeah.
And then we can also get feedback from the department as to whether or not that works for them, whether it's too much time in this or not enough time on that, and then what resources are needed financially from the city to get just a clear understanding as was asked for. But the problem is, well, we have institutional knowledge.
Yeah.
That institutional knowledge is going to be gone at some point. Exactly. And so that's why documenting things is the better practice. So I throw that out there for consideration. I know this is conceptual and we're going to get stuff back, but that's one of the things I would ask for.
Yeah, and I would add to that because I believe it was Charlotte who said, or maybe it was Andy, about modernizing Neighborhood Watch a little bit and what the roles are. And so, yeah, I would like to hear from them and from the police department, what does that mean, right? You know, it's easy for me to say, absolutely, I love Neighborhood Watch, want to support that, but it would be, I think, more effective to say, this is what it is and what the roles are going forward, because the roles could have changed. I believe, when was it started? You said
1980.
1980. So there was no internet in 1980, right? Well, there was, but not in most of our homes. DARPA, you know, ARPA, if you want to get technical. Thank you very much. But, you know, we didn't have emails in our homes. We didn't have, you know, and there wasn't social media, and there wasn't the weekly report, crime report that went out to everybody. And so, my goodness, what a void, you know, what an idea, what a void was filled. And, oh, by the way, Neighborhood Watch, I believe, made a real difference in the safety of our neighborhoods back then and still. So, but I think what I'm hearing is, you know, it's changing with the times, and there's still a way for it to make a difference, but maybe not in a way that it has always made, you know, the same things, not, you know, the Charlotte wants to, and I think it's really, I know this is our discussion times, it's something that you, can we, do you guys mind if she comments on what I'm saying? Come on down, Charlotte. Yeah, what I'm saying, so I want all
As long
of
as
this
I'm
now,
out of
too.
here by midnight.
Oh, stop. Don't listen to him.
Me too. I would just like to clarify that the beauty of Neighborhood Watch is the relationship building on the blocks. We can get communication, we can do the bells and whistles that are now electronic on our homes, but the relationship we have with individual human beings that live in our neighborhood is what makes the big, major difference. And it still has extreme value in that regard, both for safety and also for prevention of issues having to do with disaster preparedness.
Yeah, and community building. Thank you, Charlotte. That's a wonderful point. I mean, I didn't mean to say that it's not important because we have the email now. No. But it is just changing, so that's what this is about, to amplify what you were saying. Other comments?
No.
Go for it. Somebody.
I was going to propose direction, but
Well, let's
Councilmember
do
Franklin,
it.
go right
If
ahead.
you have direction.
Oh, you might?
Go ahead.
Oh, well, on our block, I've seen it work very, very well. It's timely information. They pass on the police report, which I still have difficulty reading because I'm trying to figure out with these little boxes and things like that, but that's another matter. But there are things that are added to it that are relevant to the block, and that's what builds that sense of community. Most of them have to deal with safety. Sometimes it's, hey, the block party, don't forget, is going to be in this and such a date. Or, the Franklins are, running away. And so don't be concerned if the garbage cans aren't taken in, but please help out and pick up their papers. I mean, all that level of detail is in there. And it just people really like that. And so I would suggest that we sort of outline what a standard, block captain duty is. What's the input of information? What's the information that gets sent out? Same thing with the area coordinators. It may already exist, I don't know. But just to define those roles with the PD's input, so that there's a way that you can connect with the police department to help with some of these responsibilities and information gathering or dissemination, then that would naturally flow. And I think it would just make the connection stronger.
Great. Okay, Councilmember Lesser?
No. So I appreciate my colleagues. You all get it. The community gets it. It's more than just public relations for our community. It really is neighborhood building. Public relations, by that I meant for the police, outreach and connecting with our community. It provides neighborhood building, as Charlotte just indicated. It also has helped, as the mayor just indicated, with crime reduction so that neighbors are aware of best practices. So consistent with what Councilmember Napolitano said, it's not just the police department, it's also the fire department in terms of their staffing and the amount of time for personnel to support the Map Your Neighborhood program and other aspects. So I propose that we direct staff to come back to the new council with, in working with Neighborhood Watch, an outline of the duties and responsibilities of the city to support Neighborhood Watch, and Neighborhood Watch can review that with its entity. It's just a group of volunteers. They're not an organized entity in their own right. So for them to review and to work with their designated staff.
Yeah, and I would just say it's not just how the city can support Neighborhood Watch, though. I would encourage our police department to say what would be helpful to them as well. Because that way, like Sergeant Abreu is mentioning these driveway meetings, which I think are really, a cool thing. So that may be something the police department says, wow, we really want to do more of these. And so then Neighborhood Watch can say, that's great. That's something that fits right into what we can do. So I think it shouldn't just be how can we support you, although of course it should. I think it's how, what do we need as well in the community. So I'd like to see that.
Great.
Everybody good with that?
Oh, great.
Do you need a motion, or
No,
is the direction sufficient?
Direction's good. You got that?
Direction is clear, thank you.
Okay, excellent. Well done, everybody. Thank you, Charlotte.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on, agenda item 17, which is the Lot 3 Parking Structure Local Emergency Update. Director Lee. What's going on?
Lots. We've got a parking structure coming down. Good evening again.
Wait, what?
Should we have Jill give you a report?
Happy to. I'll yield my time. This evening, we've got an update for you on our parking lot 3 demolition project and the reconstruction that's coming. This, as you know, this is a item you have to visit every regular meeting until we're done. And this evening, Principal Civil Engineer Jeff Fialka and Traffic Engineer Eric Zanfleet will be giving the presentation. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Jeff.
Good evening, Mayor Howarth, members of the council. Jeff Fialka, Principal Civil Engineer. Here to provide the update on the Lot 3 demolition progress. Here we have a timeline of the significant events since the upper level of the closure was first closed back in late June. I'm not going to walk through each of these because we're talking about them every couple weeks. Just want to point out that there has been steady progress on the project, particularly since the local emergency was declared in early September. Throughout the month of September, we had solicited competitive bids for the demolition, hired a consultant to identify the presence of lead and asbestos in the structure. Then when we got into October, we worked with legal counsel to put together this contract with our demolition contractor. So that demolition contract with American Wrecking, it was executed by the then acting city manager on October 17th. And we're here tonight to ask City Council to ratify it after the fact pursuant to the emergency order from September 3rd. The contract amount, the low bidder, American Wrecking, had submitted a bid price of $190,000. They then did later add an additional proposal for $48,887. That's for the abatement of the lead and the asbestos that had been identified within the structure. That abatement work was performed starting the day that the contract was executed on October 17th, and it was completed a little over a week later on October 25th. And we're now into the demolition phase. The contract allows 40 working days for the demolition, working Monday through Friday with work hours from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. First day of the demolition work was October 31st, which was last Thursday, so today was day 5 of those 40 days. The 40 days end on December 30th, so the demolition work will be complete by December 30th, and as Jill alluded to earlier, likely sooner than that.
Sorry, we're laughing at Jill back there. She's just grinning.
So I had mentioned some of the things completed thus far. Prior to the demolition, the contractor did construct a pedestrian protection canopy along Center Place, which is the alley to the south of the structure. And the contractor's made great progress in the last 5 days. The ramps between the second and the third level have been removed on both sides of the structure. The third level cantilever over Center Place was removed during the first 2 days of the demolition. And the heavy equipment, it arrived today, and they've already begun tearing apart the structure, the main body of the structure, starting at the northwest corner. Thus far, staff has not received any noise complaints or other disturbance complaints from the construction activities, which we attribute largely to the close communication with the contractor. Jill is correct, it has been a great contractor to work with, and also our communications team has performed extensive outreach for this project, and we've been closely coordinating with Jill and the DBPA. And currently, while the demolition is underway, staff is making arrangements for the design of the at-grade interim parking lot, which will be constructed after the completion of the demolition activities. So I'll now hand it off to Traffic Engineer Zanfleet to talk about a proposed shuttle service as well as parking.
Thank you, Jeff. Good evening, Mayor and members of the City Council. I'm Eric Zanfleet, the City Traffic Engineer. Let's first start with the farmers market. And our first relocation date was October 29th, last week. And it was relocated to the City Hall parking lot, upper level. We made sure that there was at least 8 parking spaces that remained open for City Hall and police visitors. And the remaining portion of the lot was used for the farmers market, as well as the plaza area for the Civic Center. Jill already gave the report on how it went, and we've had our second farmer's market yesterday. It went well. The only issues that we're seeing at this point is a little constraint on parking. And so with regard to the older adult program at Joslin Center, they had a crunch particularly yesterday because we had construction going on for new parking spaces along Valley Drive. And also they traditionally will park in the City Hall parking lot for some of their older adult programs on Tuesdays. Now the old original place for the farmer's market is reopened, and so there are 37 parking spaces down on 13th Street that you can use. And also yesterday we painted 35 new parking spaces along Valley Drive opposite the Joslin Center and the Live Oak Park. So there's additional parking that's now available. Hopefully that takes the pressure off of the parking demand in the area. Today, the number of parking spaces that we've added in downtown is to 64. And so by the end of the week, we should be up to 90 new parking spaces in downtown. That'd be a great help for all of us and all of our businesses in downtown. With regard to the upcoming holiday events, we have two large events, of course, in our Christmas time, and one is the pier lighting, and the other one is the fireworks. City Council had asked us to take a look at what our options might be for a shuttle operation. The shuttle operation would be such that we would have remote parking locations that would serve during the event to have people park there or walk there and then shuttle them into the events. We asked Circuit and Charter Up to provide some quotes for us as with the expectation that we would move a certain number of spectators. The pier lighting event has about 10,000 participants or spectators. It's spread out over a little bit longer time period, and the fireworks event, by contrast, is a much more densely concentrated event during a shorter amount of time, but there's about 40,000 people that are attending at that point. We did get quotes, and they're on the next slide. The pier lighting on November 20th. The expected shuttle time would be 4 p.m. to 11 p.m. to straddle that time period for the pier lighting. The 5 o'clock it starts, and then it ends around 9 o'clock-ish. But people do stay later on, go to dinner, and stay later in the downtown. That's why the 11 o'clock closing time. We would probably serve about 2,000 to 4,000 riders. That would mean 2,000 there and 2,000 back to the remote locations. Our city manager asked our school district to see if we could use some of their parking lots, and we've got approvals for the use of Grandview Elementary School in the north end of the city, and Manhattan Beach Middle School in the eastern section of the city. And so those are two shuttle routes that we would take. They would be done individually at that point. Charter Up is recommending that they use buses because of the large number of participants in a short amount of time. That can be expensive, and there's a spreadsheet in your report and in your on the slideshow that will give you some breakdown. These are just options and possibilities. We could reduce the number of buses, we could reduce the hours, we could reduce the size of the buses, and that would change the cost for that. This is a picture of the shuttle route, one going to the Grandview Elementary School and the other one going to Manhattan Beach Middle School. That would be the same route for both events. We're not trying to get the buses or the shuttles into the event zone itself because it would be very hard to manage getting through all the people. And so they would be dropped off along Valley Drive, one in front of the Matlocks area and the other one in front of the Vaughns. This is some of the options. Again, like I mentioned, this is not solely the only options that are available to you. You can use fewer buses, but that means that you also have a longer wait between trips, and there might be fewer riders that are served. We don't really know how many people would use this particular operation. It would take a load off of the downtown parking demand during that time. And it does require us to manage that service. Charter Up is also recommending that there be an attendant at each one of the locations to help basically ferry people and answer questions and have them queued up, ready to go for the shuttles themselves. If we requested CSC personnel to be that attendant, then we could save some money that way, but they would just basically be there as crowd control. And let's see if I have anything else to say about that.
The attendant at each location would be $2,000 per event? I mean, where do I sign up to be the attendant?
Yes, exactly. There's that attendant also includes a supervisor as well. That would also be something that CSC would do.
White hat guy there.
Yeah.
Why not, can we just have the supervisor without the attendant then?
We could just have CSC,
Correct,
right?
you could
We
have
don't
CSC.
have to
You don't have
have
to.
the
You don't have to have
recommended
anyone at all.
attendant,
Yes.
Because that's,
Yes.
yeah.
Exactly. With regard to the number of parking spaces that are provided at Grandview, it's about, I believe, 55 parking spaces in the upper parking lot and about 83 parking spaces at Manhattan Beach Middle School. And we're also asking that maybe we be able to use some of the pavement area for the play area also for overflow parking. We'll see.
I just wanted to add that although the school is not asking us to pay for the use of the parking spaces at both schools, they did ask that we have an attendant present.
Okay. So the school's, okay.
So the school is requesting that. And I will hand this back over to Jeff to finish our presentation.
Okay.
All right, so we have 4 recommendations associated with this agenda item. The first is to, similar to in the past reports, determine by 4/5 vote that there's a need to continue the emergency action. The second item is to adopt Resolution 240124, ratifying the contract with American Wrecking. Also discuss and provide direction regarding the holiday event shuttle service that traffic engineer Zandvliet described. And then if a holiday shuttle service is selected, appropriate an amount not to exceed $85,000 from the unreserved Proposition A fund balance. And that concludes our presentation. We're open for any questions.
And we will
Council may
have them. All right.
Thank
Thank you. Councilmember Montgomery.
Thank you. Hey, Jeff, don't go anywhere. The only question I received so far, the American Wrecking did a good job on the demolition. The only question is, how's Edison been doing with the power lines that are coming down? Is it affecting the power that's going north-south on Morningside and east-west to Highland?
Power lines coming down and associated with this project. There are no lines coming down associated with this demolition. There was an overhead service coming across 12th Street that was removed prior to the start of our demolition activities. That was only serving the structure. There was also an underground feed coming from Center Place that was also serving some meters at the structure. So they will not be removing any Edison lines that are currently up there.
Good. And there's no loss of power into the buildings that are there to the south on MBB, right?
No, these were individual services dedicated solely for this structure and the equipment present.
Those are the only questions I had that concerned about power, that people thought they'd lose power. We haven't lost. We're not losing any power down there.
No changes to the grid.
So that's all I had. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem Lesser.
Questions for our traffic engineer, if I could. First about parking and then about the shuttle. With regard to parking, on my way into City Hall tonight, on Morningside Drive, adjacent to Lot 3, there was a car that was parked, or at least one, maybe 2 cars parked in the loading zone adjacent to the parking lot side of the Morningside, and then the new angled spaces. And it was quite obvious that if there were cars parked in the angled spaces, they would not be able to get out, particularly with traffic moving through. So I'm just wondering, what is your process for evaluating this, whether those cars in the loading zone were parked when they shouldn't be parked there, given how difficult it's going to be to have parked cars through traffic on Morningside as well as loading zone parking?
Correct. The job is not done. And so that loading zone goes away because of the diagonal parking. The loading zone is, still remains in place between 12th and 13th Street. That will stay in place for the businesses to use for loading.
Helpful, thank you. With regard to the shuttle, can you bring up the map again of what the route would be of the shuttle?
Yes.
My experience over the years is those roadways are backed up with cars coming to downtown. How exactly is a bus or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 going to be transporting passengers on those streets that are already going to be clogged with cars?
Right. During both special events, the police department has controls at Pacific Avenue and other places to regulate how the traffic goes in. The buses or the shuttles will have basically special privileges to get through.
I'm just thinking, the Hollywood Bowl, of course, has a little more capacity than we do in our downtown, and I worry about that. I also am worried about the cost. How many spaces in total at Grandview and MB Middle School? 55 plus 83?
Correct. So maybe about.
Obviously, some cars will park on the street and pick up the bus, but even so, best case scenario, I'm just trying to anticipate what the cost would be by passenger to be able to pay for this, even though there will be Metro Prop A local return funds, which I want to ask you about next.
Sure, exactly. It's not cheap per person. We do expect a large number of people to walk from the neighborhood to that shuttle location as well.
Explain how we might qualify for use of our Metro Prop A local return funds, so that would help offset these costs.
My understanding is that the Prop A is eligible because it's a fixed route transit, even if it's for a special event.
What percentage would be covered of our costs?
That's 100% of the transit cost.
Okay, let me stop there. Thank you.
Councilmember Franklin.
Yes, hi. Hi, Eric. So, got 55 spots at Grandview. Now, so one concern I have is making people aware of the shuttle. I recall with the Pacific School shuttle, utilizing that. That seemed to start really slowly. It took a matter of days, and we were doing signs and things like that. And we're putting a flashing sign on Manhattan Beach Boulevard at Pacific. And so if you're trying to read that, there was like 3 screens you had to go through, and you missed it. And so then people were stuck, and they were going downtown in their car. So how can we get the word out?
Right.
Is it going to be any different, or?
Yeah.
I would compare these events to the AVP and 6-man over the summer, where we had 1,500 to 1,600 people riding the shuttle. And I think when there's an expectation that there isn't going to be enough parking to accommodate, people are more willing to take alternative modes of transportation. For these instances, we would have to do a heavy messaging push in advance so that people are aware that these options are available, that they can walk to the school or drive to the school. And I wanted to add to the 55 number for Grandview. We are also asking to use the blacktop, which is why they asked for an attendant. And so we will have more than the 55 hopefully there.
Okay. But still, if you average, what, 3 per car, so this is a single event. In other words, people aren't going to be coming back and forth. They're not going to be going for an hour and then coming back and, this, that, and the other. So if they have 50, let's just say they have 100 at the middle school, an average of 3 people per car. I'm sure there's going to be 4 in some and 2 in others. That's 300 people. And a bus would, I saw this, 10 buses or something going back and forth? Was the recommendation? Wouldn't that be just, and I understand people would be walking there as well, but it just seems like it's
Overkill?
being overkill of the buses.
Yeah. And as I mentioned, we asked for the quote for a large number of people. The number of buses or the number of passengers that we want to handle can be much less than that if we chose.
Okay, all right. And then they're not on any real schedule, they're just lining up, pulling in, loading up, and going?
And they would rotate and stage at the school, and then they would bring the buses in on a regular schedule.
Okay. All right. Yeah, those are my questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Montgomery?
Thank you. Eric, I think I'd compare this to what Hometown Fair first thought. When they brought in shuttle buses for the TW lot, they thought it'd be 300, turned out to be 1,000. It takes off. People just don't show up at the parking lot and they turn around and go home when it's full. They park all over they can, and then carrying their blankets and their gear, they'd rather have a bus ride down there than trying to wake it all the way down and make them back up. So I think your numbers are low on total people that show up for fireworks, more like 50K is what the fair looks at. I think in Joe's point, it's more than 300, Joe. It's more like 1,000 plus that will take advantage of it, that we're seeing it. We looked at the Hometown Fair as a comparison. That's the only way we can compare it, because no other way to compare fireworks to anything else we do in the city. But we get, to David's point, the Prop A funds from Prop A reimbursed. So I'd rather have that than a big jam up and everywhere else to get through, because otherwise they can't. They'll be circling for hours driving around our city doing this. There's nowhere to go. Rather have them an access point to get there safely and get them out instead of having them circle all around for hours.
Is there a
Doesn't do us
question
any
in that
good.
comment?
No, just making sure Eric
Yeah.
knew the comparison between Hometown Fair buses and this one.
And the Hometown Fair uses full-size buses.
Yes. That was it.
That's
Thank
good
you.
information.
So are those like those luxury buses?
Yes.
Okay. And how are they going to squeeze by on Pacific, on Manhattan Beach Boulevard?
So,
Because there's people that are parked there.
So that can be challenging, especially if you're going to Grandview, which has very tight streets, not so much for Manhattan Beach Middle School. So there may be a consideration where we use smaller shuttle vans instead of the full-size buses.
But still, according to the map, that's going down Manhattan Beach Boulevard, right? Crossing over Pacific Avenue. There's no way that they can sneak along the right side because there's parked cars.
I don't understand.
They
Well-
can drive?
Well, how
They go down there now.
Somebody mentioned about the buses getting trapped in that backed up
Just
traffic.
in the congestion.
Yeah, but there's no way for you, and I think the response was, well, they're going to be able to pass by,
Oh.
that
Like a
traffic.
special bus lane or something? Like,
Well,
what did you,
I
is that what
mean,
you're asking?
where?
You could take away parking on Manhattan Beach Boulevard.
Block it off.
That's when you do special event traffic control and you work with your police department to make sure that doesn't happen.
Okay. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't we open up for public comment and then more discussion to follow? Is there anybody in chambers that would like, anybody?
Besides Jill?
Anybody? No, I'm eager to hear Jill's comments.
It's the Jill Show.
I know, it is a weird night.
Wow.
Jill Lampkin, Downtown Manhattan Beach Business and Professional Association. We're down 150 parking spaces, and we're talking about spending $85,000 on those 150 parking spaces. I think that's ridiculous. I would much rather see that money used on something longer term that could help people get here. 150 parking spaces, if you want to figure out how we can put them in Grandview and people can walk from Grandview, because all the people who live by Grandview walk down here. But we're really only talking about displacing 150 vehicles from Lot 3. I think we're over-solving something a problem that doesn't exist. We never, there's no reason to run a shuttle for thousands of people when it's only 150 cars that we're displacing. Thank you.
Okay. Other public comments in chambers? Okay, how about on Zoom?
No request on Zoom.
Okay, I see Councilmember Montgomery. I was going to suggest, but go ahead. Go
I'll make
ahead.
a motion first to determine there is a need to continue the emergency
Yes.
action. There is a need. I move to adopt resolution 24-0124. As far as discuss and provide direction, I would say you can have it two ways. You want people to come here safely and shop and get down to fireworks, get them there safely, and avoid all the backlog that Councilman Lesser's talking about. If we're getting reimbursed 100% from Prop A funds, use it for what that purpose is for.
I was going to suggest that we bifurcate this and we first do a motion to extend the emergency declaration, and we approve the contract, and then we have a fuller discussion on the
Okay,
shuttles.
I'll save my comments when we bring it back.
Second that.
Okay, so actually, let's clear, so would you accept that motion?
Yes.
Okay.
I have one comment on it. So the motion would include the American Wrecking Company? 'Cause
Yes.
I have one comment on that.
I'm just following what it says on the screen.
So we're doing A and B,
Yes.
and then we're going to talk about everything else. Go for it.
So my one comment is a compliment to our new city manager and Public Works Department staff. Initially, under the then acting city manager's authority, there was only one contract to take down this parking structure. I am grateful to the city manager and Public Works Department staff for, even though they didn't have to, going out and receiving information about other contractors that could do this job for what is, and the public needs to know this, to take down this parking lot for, I think it's $238,000? $238,000 is all it's going to take to demolish this parking lot. And that's due to the fact
Incredible.
that the city manager and Public Works staff were receptive to receiving bids from other contractors as though this were a regulated, non-emergency action. The city has saved a tremendous amount of money that it can now apply, and time, to, as we think with the new council of what we're going to be building there, we're going to have greater reserves and more money to pay for that. So I just wanted to acknowledge that.
Hold on to that number.
Yes, save that in your back pocket.
The original estimation was what? Was it 1,850,000?
Almost 2 million.
Yeah.
It is a million. Okay, can we call for the question to continue the emergency action and adopt resolution 24-0124?
That was a motion.
I called for it.
All right.
Now Talyn.
Motion passes 5-0.
Okay, so I'm gonna, I want to start off the shuttle discussion. I also want to, I appreciate that staff has brought this option to us because we asked for it. And I tend to, I think there's a middle ground because I do appreciate what Councilmember Montgomery is saying. And I think that people for years have wondered why we don't have a shuttle, especially for fireworks. But I also, when, I almost said Councilmember Jill, when Jill, when the Fifth Beatle brought up that people could walk from, Grandview or whatever, why don't we go back to the schools and ask them to open up Pacific, Grandview, and Robinson parking lots specifically for this purpose? And those are all very walkable to downtown. And then I would say with that proposal, and I'm just spitballing here, but we could assign CESC to those schools to protect. So we would still incur some of those costs, right? So, but then you don't have, the problem, whether it's there on Pacific, Councilmember Franklin, or somewhere else, it's super congested. But if people knew they could park in those parking lots, that takes a lot of people out. So that's my idea.
Okay, but, are they closed now, though? Typically, Grandview has the neighborhood parking there at night all the time anyway. Pacific, I don't know that any of those are locked up as far as the parking goes.
But we could work out with.
But if people park there anyway, let's just say they're open, there's no need to ask permission for something that we're not giving. The only reason that we would do that is if we're going to run a shuttle from them.
Oh,
The parking's already open.
Maybe. I don't know that the parking is.
Grandview is.
It is.
It is?
Yeah,
Okay,
there's no
wait,
fence.
It's just a lot in the front, yeah.
Okay, wait, let's hear.
I think we would want to check with the school to make sure we have the permission to do that. Let them know that we would have CSCs there so that we can promote it properly and the school's not, surprised by that.
And so what you're saying, though, is people are parking there now anyway.
If we're not going to run a shuttle from it, why would we have CSC at any of the parking lots?
Okay.
We would only run a shuttle or have notification and attendance for parking lots that we're going to run a shuttle from. And frankly, I'm with Jill. I think that
It was too
you've got
expensive.
to, you have to, this is a choice, take it out of this context. And you either are going to run a shuttle for these events and do it going forward, as we do with other events, but that amount of parking is not worth it.
Okay.
Even if they park in the neighborhood, that amount of parking is not worth it to me. If we had an agreement with, where's the hometown fair do?
TRW,
Right, Northrop Grumman, usually is amenable to having their parking lot used by us for certain events, whether it's AVP or hometown fair. But unless we have a critical mass of parking from a place like that, I wouldn't run it from Grandview again, which is extremely small. The streets there are very narrow.
Yeah.
And or the middle school, I would do something like Northrop Grumman. That, to me, makes sense for a shuttle. And then if you're going to do that, you can use Prop A funds for that and do it on a continual basis. Just for this, though, unless we're going to do it on a yearly basis, just doing it for this loss of 150 spaces at Lot 3, which we're making up a lot of anyway, I would not do it for this cost.
And I agree with that. I appreciate, you're probably right. People, if you know, you know. So you're going to park at Grandview, you're going to park at Robinson. You're
Probably.
Going to, what? I just walk.
You said I was probably right.
That's all you're getting. I would take the win. So I agree
I need
with you.
one.
Yeah. God. Okay. Councilmember Montgomery.
Thank you, Your Honor. You know, my point is, it's not about the ones that know, it's about the ones that don't know, do not know about where to go, where to park. I agree, Steve. You want to make it a shuttle system, Grandview is not the place I would pick. Pacific is a minimal place I'd pick, whether it's MBS, middle school, or you want to go take it to Northrop Grumman and get them all set up. That's where you want to do it. But it's not about us that know where to go and how to walk down, how to ride your bike down. It's people that flood our city, fireworks night. We've all seen it. Down MBB and all around the city, it is a log jam with people. If you have an option and say, Northrop Grumman provides you a free shuttle back and forth, like Hometown Fair, then do that. And take the pressure off the streets, Joe, you mentioned down in MBB. Take the pressure off, and that'll get it to in and out. You know, those that want to stay and shop and eat afterwards, great. Get them a free ride back, carrying their gear, perfect. But don't stick your head in the sand and say, oh, let's not do anything at all, and we'll handle it without Lot 3 being there. We'll just get through it somehow. It'll be a massive undertaking for the 1 year that people don't know it's Lot 3 is gone. And every year, I can tell you, fireworks grows every year in attendance. So you don't have to say a word, the word gets out. You still know. So.
Okay. Did you want? Oh.
I withdrew my comments, but I'm trying to come up with some direction perhaps for staff so we can move on, and more particularly because of the timing, because we're not going to have another meeting for 2 weeks.
You want a shuttle or don't you want a shuttle?
Yeah.
I personally don't think the cost is worth it. I
Okay.
agree with Jill Lampkin. I'm grateful for her
Well,
position on
but
that.
is that based on where they're coming from now? Or if we had Northrop Grumman as the option, is it worth it to do that?
Park
The
one-
issue with Northrop Grumman is I think they make their lot available on weekends, but not necessarily if this is a weekday event.
It's
So
weekend.
I-
weekday.
We're talking about fireworks right now.
Fireworks.
Fireworks. What I was going to point is I wanted to give staff some direction and some authority, perhaps, to check with the school district to see what they're willing to do. They may have insurance obligations or other reasons for requesting some sort of
I'm
staffing
taking the
there.
school district
Yeah,
off them.
We
Off
took
the
that
table?
off the table.
I'll tell it's
because
Northrop
not
Grumman or
worth it.
nothing.
Okay,
Yeah, and
so
also too, it might be the same audience. I mean, someone comes to the hometown fair is going to come to the,
it is the same.
is going to come to the fireworks, you know,
Sure.
so they're going to know. They're going to look.
Councilmember Montgomery.
My motion would be that we ask Northrop Grumman, number one, they might say yes, they might say no. It's a weekend, it's one night, it's not over a weekend, it's one night. If they say yes, come back, they want a liability waiver, insurance coverage, Prop A funds cover it, and look at that as your option. If they say no, then dead in the water, we'll survive.
I'll second that.
Great.
And this is for a shuttle?
A shuttle, Northrop Grumman, back and forth, to be determined where they're going to
Shuttle
drop
service,
off.
not just
Shuttle
For
service
fireworks.
For fireworks.
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 December 8th.
Fireworks, not the pure lighting.
Not peer lighting.
And I would want the staff to come back and let us know how many spots that was, and et cetera.
Does the council want to authorize staff to ask Northrop Grumman, and if they say yes, up to $50,000, for example, to develop the shuttle service contract?
I don't see why not. I know it handles hundreds at Hometown Fair. I don't know the exact number of parking spaces they have at Northrop Grumman, but they have plenty of space.
And this
They
would
do
be
not
Metro
use.
Prop A,
Be
local
Prop A.
return funds that would pay for it?
100%.
Only if it's.
Fixed route.
Yes.
Thank you.
As a seconder of the motion, is that friendly amendment, or is that fine with you?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, Call for the, so
Any
staff,
questions?
are there questions among staff before
Well,
we vote?
we also have to check to see if they're going to charge us for the use of the
Of
parking.
course.
So,
But that's sort of our limit, isn't it? I mean, we're
so if
saying,
50 is the limit, then that would include the cost of the
Yeah.
parking. Great.
yeah, call for the question. I think it's worth trying for that, and if we can do more cars like that.
Motion passes 5-0.
Excellent work. Okay. Okay, folks, moving along. City Council AB 1234 reports. I believe we all have something to say there.
Whatever Richard says, I'm
Yeah.
tagging on to it.
Yeah.
He's good at this.
Cal Cities, go for it, Richard.
We all attended, in fact, I think all the.
Yeah. Oh, Joe did
Councilor
not.
Franken did not attend, but the mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, Councilmember Metropolitan, and I both attended the California League of Cities Conference in Long Beach. And I thought the highlights for us, and it's not just all the cities in California that show up, it's speakers they bring. I thought the two best speakers that they had in conferences, I thought Joe was right up Joe's alley. It was EV issues that every city in California is having and what they're all doing, the creativity from Irvine and everybody else that's doing things, things that we can look at.
E-bike, right?
E-bikes.
E-bike.
Yeah.
E-bikes, not EV, but
I saw
e-bikes.
Joe there.
EV e-bikes, yes. That was a highlight for me, and also every city is struggling. You saw Beverly Hills is doing as well. They're struggling with the impact on multifamily housing and their single-family lots, and they're fighting back to the state. They're not saying they're going to win, but you're seeing every city frustrated now. Multifamily that's popping up residential lots, and you're seeing cities at Irwindale and from Beverly Hills and across the spectrum fighting back, all across what we're doing. So those are personal highlights of what I got out of it. I'll defer to anybody else comments they might have.
If you want to,
I would add that I also was at the conference, as Councilmember Montgomery mentioned. One of the highlights for me was a presentation on best practices for presenting a city budget, which is always something that fills this chamber with residents, right?
Yes.
Not
Standing
usually,
room
but to
only.
hear how other cities face the same issue, how they convey that information. Also, I was the city's voting delegate, and I wanted to report back that I attended the session, which had the weighty matter of requesting that the legislature, to the extent that it implies to local cities certain requirements for compliance purposes, would also apply to the state legislature. But of course, at the California League, there was not a quorum there to vote on that matter. So it's going to be an advisory a motion by the League of Cities to the legislature that it should abide by the same requirements that it imposes on cities. Good luck.
I also thought what was it, the keynote presentation on the economic forecast?
Yes, Crystal.
And public safety statistics. You know, the outlook is a lot better, than, the election's over, so we, there's some great information, and we could probably make that available if the public wants it.
Yes.
And that presentation is always great. Like, everybody looks forward to that presentation every year, because the guy is sort of it's a neutral, factual, this is what he does. He does the economic forecast. Here's what's really happening. Here's the black swan we're looking for, et cetera, et cetera. So, okay, item number, anyone else? That's it. Item number 19, consideration of a request by Councilmember Montgomery and Franklin.
I'll be the third.
Okay. Did you get that, Mr. City Attorney?
Thank you.
Okay, are there any, at this time, council members who would like to place an item on a future agenda?
Yes, Your Honor.
And that would be?
Indulge me for just a minute, but we are all aware of a blog, I'm going to call it that comes out on a weekly basis that is best described as opinion and entertainment, not news. To my knowledge, they have no journalists or news room, and its content is mostly based on reader input, whether it be right or wrong. Nobody knows, because there don't appear to be any standards or controls over what their input is or what it's based on. Recently, they've been very self-congratulatory for featuring a series of reader-generated stories, which they breathlessly describe as explosive exposés on city salaries based on limited information at best. Well, these would normally be seen as what would amount to misinformed letters to the editor. They continue to be passed off as fact, which has undermined our staff and unfairly targeted them in our community. So I would like to make the motion to direct staff to produce a white paper for public consumption to address the claims and present facts, whether they be good, bad, or ugly, regarding the true nature of staff salaries in comparison to other cities. Thank you, Your Honor.
Second.
Yeah, I'll second. Okay, we got a second. Thank you. Any other future agenda items, Councilmember Franklin?
Yes, colleagues, I'd like to request for the City Council to consider an amendment to the requirements in Title VII, specifically Section 7.36.150, encroachment standards, which limit landscaping, hedges, and fences to a maximum height of 42 inches, specifically for the walk street east of 441 6th Street, or 26th Street, and up to Grandview Avenue.
Just for one walk street?
Just a segment
An
of one.
exception, okay.
Your Honor, I got a question, City Attorney. When can we make that adjustment? It would be citywide. We couldn't make it for one block.
Yeah, I don't see why.
It's possible because if it's unique circumstances in that particular block, and so it's something, if there is a second vote, we can come back and take a look at that. So the encroachment, I mean, we can't discuss it tonight, but there are some areas that might be different. I mean, we have the walk streets, we have all these different areas where we have, public.
But all the walk streets, like it would, rather than one walk, the community development
Right.
director, like.
So,
I'll add that that particular area is outside of the coastal zone, so it would not be an LCP amendment. It would be Title VII in the municipal code.
Which is what Councilmember Franklin has said.
I'm okay. I want to curious on that question, so I'll be the second to bring it back and hear it. I'm not committing. I just want to see the options, and I'll stop there.
All right.
Yeah, and we could, without spending too much staff time, we could probably provide those type of options on the second step. And I'm looking to the city manager. Is that something we could come back and just give a few options?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Thank you.
Okay, any others? Okay, city manager report.
Nothing to report today?
Okay, starting off, okay. City attorney report.
She's here for one day and she's stealing my words. What's
Yeah.
going on here?
I know, right?
I just want to congratulate Talyn. It's been a pleasure working with her, and I think it's going to be great.
Well said. Okay, with that, if there's no further reports or comments, I would like to adjourn this meeting to a closed session on Tuesday, November 19th at 4:30, right here in City Council chambers.
Well done. Way to go.